I think overall, most of the crypto market is extremely globalized. And so I think for people in South Korea looking to get into crypto, I think it's important to try to meet the market where it's at. A lot of it happens in English. There's obviously hyper-localized stuff here in Korea. I think that the goal for anybody that's getting deeper into crypto is to always recognize, hey, there's people all over the world that are interacting with this, and we live in a more and more globalized society. And so because of that, the focus should always just be on understanding the full spectrum of it. Like, I don't think borders exist as deeply as they do in crypto as they, in many other industries. And so I think that should be the focus there. I think the only thing that gives NFTs value is the fact that people value them. Like, at the end of the day, if people decide to stop caring about NFTs, which is what in part we're seeing today, that's ultimately what drives the prices down. That's ultimately what drives excitement and engagement around these things down. And so it's the network of people that share this belief that cartoon JPEGs have value that actually give them value. And so to me, people that are entering the market or entering the industry today might have this idea that, oh, it's actually the tech, or oh, it's actually the pictures, or oh, it's actually this or that. But it's like, no, all of it comes back to people find this thing valuable, people find it interesting, and we have to always remember that as a space. Like, it's a deeply human driven space. It's not always rational, it's oftentimes irrational. And so listening to people and listening to the community, especially people that hold our NFTs, has been our biggest edge, and always a strategy we want to continue to use. I think, in a lot of ways, when we started this year, we were probably, in the top 20 projects in the world, and now we're like number 2, which is pretty exciting. I mean, I think we made a lot of progress. I don't think it went perfectly. I think there's a lot of things that we didn't do well, but yeah, I mean, overall, I think 2023 has been pretty incredible. I mean, we weren't on anybody's radar, honestly, at the beginning of the year in the broader NFT space and the broader crypto space, and now it's like you can't have a conversation, about the top NFTs without talking about DEGODS, which is pretty exciting. I think that the youth is the future of the space. Like, for me, I'm on the younger side, and on NFTs, I've never questioned whether or not they're gonna exist. I think there's a lot of older people that are like, oh, this is, a fad, this is gonna pass, all these different things, which is old people's job at the end of the day, is to always say the new thing is gonna pass. For me, it makes a lot of sense that I could go buy a Rolex, I could go buy, really expensive shoes or a nice car or whatever it is, all these kind of status symbols. But I spend so much of my time on the internet, as I know a lot of younger people do today, and it makes more sense to buy and invest in things that are gonna augment my online identity, help me meet people that I wouldn't otherwise meet, and just create something that is digitally native at first. So my advice to younger creators and people that are interested in this space is, one, think about it before you drop an NFT project. I think it's like probably not a good idea 99% of the time, but if you really want to, embrace the youth and embrace the fact that you have grown up on the internet and make things that feel internet native and digital native. I think that if you look at a lot of the top projects in the space today, it's honestly a bad example. Clearly people are upset at NFTs right now. So I think people are hungry for something new, something that feels fresh. And so I think that is my advice. I think youth should not listen to all the negativity in this space and try to make something that they think is actually cool and pursue it with that youthful hunger and vigor and intensity. I think anything that embraces the social element of crypto is going to have a much bigger tendency to do better. And I think a lot of people are at this point disillusioned by all these kind of algorithmic promises that this thing's just gonna keep going up and like it's this crazy DeFi Ponzi or whatever. I think people need to see just common sense applied to a lot of the things that got popular when things were euphoric. So I think social everything is probably gonna get bigger. I think that NFTs as a concept, when they first started out, honestly were rewarded for doing less, right? NFTs that like kind of have kept this allure and mystery around them and honestly just let the community pump the fuck out of them or whatever. I think like that was the first wave. I think the next wave is gonna be a lot more active, and projects that are putting out interesting content all the time, engaging with their community all the time, are more likely to be the type of NFTs that people wanna buy and spend money on in the future. And that's just like basic human nature, So yeah, I think those are the two big ones to me. I obviously think institutional adoption around broader crypto is really a huge positive. And that's been the funniest part of this bear market is while everyone is getting all doom and gloom, you're seeing the biggest institutions in the world move further in that direction. And so that's what gives me confidence. End of the day is I think there's a human nature element that drives people towards crypto and Web3 broadly. And I think it just keeps getting better and better, even if the market fluctuates.